Welcome to the session where Sunrise Supported Living Limited offers hints and tips about parenting. Today, the 17th of December 2023, I am looking at domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is a global concern. It has no respect of class, race, tribe, faith, or any social dimension. United Nations records indicate that 1 in 3 women suffer domestic abuse in their lifetime. This excluded men, but we know that men also suffer domestic abuse. When I looked at the England and Wales records for the year ending March 2022, they indicated that over 1,500,000 domestic abuse related cases were recorded. This is certainly a worry, especially when we look at what it is that is referred to as domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is a pattern of behavior in an intimate relationship used to gain or maintain power and control over the victim. United Nations point out that domestic abuse is typically manifested as a pattern of abusive behavior towards an intimate partner in a dating or family relationship where the abuser exerts power and control over the victim. These are couples, these are people who felt that they could live together. But this is where this domestic abuse is taking place. In England and Wales, a Domestic Abuse Act of 2021 defines what domestic abuse is. This is to help when cases are reported to police or they are before courts. It does spell out that this includes physical violence, threats, controlling and coercive behavior, economic abuse, sexual abuse, psychological, emotional, and any other form of abuse. It is a behavior that results in the victim suffering any of the identified harm. That's the reason why domestic abuse is a grave concern, because it is within people. We thought they should be close to each other, understanding each other, respecting each other, and enjoying their life. One of the most, or a range of complicating factors, is that it is one of the crimes where the victim and perpetrator conceal the crime. The victim of domestic abuse, most of them, will take time to disclose that they are suffering abuse. If any state agents or anyone asks them about their lifestyle, even when there has been a report of a worrying noise that would have been heard, normally they will just say nothing happened, both the perpetrator and the victim. If they've got children, some children have been told not to disclose. So the crime is concealed by both the victim and the perpetrator. It also becomes difficult where the couple have got children. The victim mainly would be worried that if I leave the partner, what happens to the children? If I take the children with me, will they have any form of a relationship with their father or mother, whoever was perpetrating domestic abuse? There is that bond or attachment between the victim and the perpetrator, they will try to give it time to say maybe there will be change. Even at times the victim will feel that maybe I'm not doing right, I should change my behavior. My behavior is the one that triggers the perpetrator to display domestic abuse. There is that pride within the family. You don't want your dirty linen to be spread all over. You want to keep the family image in a positive light. So that pride also contributes in concealing the crime itself. That loyalty, especially to children, they are loyal to their parents. And to tell a stranger that something is not going right, it takes them time really to come to that state where they can reveal whatever is happening. So these are some of the features that make domestic abuse a complicated crime. When I'm looking at, I'll look at what are the services that are available in some countries, but you can also look in your country as to what it is that is available for those who are affected by domestic abuse. But it's a crime that should be taken seriously. I will say in England and Wales, in a 2-year period, 470 deaths were reported that were related to domestic abuse. So you can also check in different countries. But the main purpose of my podcast today was just to discuss domestic abuse, look at its prevalence, international and also within England and Wales. Look at what exactly is defined as domestic abuse, where it takes place, especially that it is within intimate, dating, or people in a family relationship where we wouldn't suspect a crime to happen. It's complicating factors that it is concealed for a long time by the perpetrator and the victim. There are issues of pride. You don't want your dirty linen to be known all over. There is a question of loyalty. It could be one of the partners loyal to the other, but mainly children loyal to their parents and will not disclose. Where there are children, if one leaves, what happens to them? There are so many questions, the bond that exists between the partners. It takes time to break that. But as I pointed out, United Nations says about 1 in 3 women suffer domestic abuse. Over 1,500,000 domestic abuse related cases were reported in England and Wales in the year ending March 2022. 470 deaths within a 2-year period. Hence the importance of looking at this domestic abuse issue. Next week, I will look at what services are available to try and help in reducing these risks of domestic abuse and what actions are recommended to be adopted by those who suffer domestic abuse. Thank you. Meet you next week.